One of my favorite sources for InfoSec news is the SANS Internet Storm Center. They have an awesome podcast that comes out daily. It's short, gives information, and they have these, they call them diaries. They're basically blog posts that they put out every day that are quick, practical, useful. They also have this giant network of honeypots that give them this really neat visibility into what's going on out there. Today, I saw a diary about a big rise in exploitation events on Apache OFBiz CVE. In the article, they call it CVE 2024 32113. And HackTheBox has this retired box business, which uses OFBiz, and I wanted to see if it was vulnerable. And I wanted to look into the CVE and see if I can play with it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to exploit the box. It is vulnerable. We'll show the CVE. We'll show it in burp and curl a couple of different ways. And then we'll look at the patches in GitHub that supposedly fixes vulnerability and kind of show how it didn't. But actually the next vulnerability patches the exploit that we're going with. So there's probably two vulnerabilities involved here. Kind of interesting. We'll do some source code analysis, play with some Java. Let's go ahead and dive in. Jumping over here into the article. This is the article, and I'll have a link in the description here. But basically it goes over, they're seeing an increased activity. So in their honeypots where they have web listeners, they're seeing a lot of people trying to reach, like with post requests to this like /web tool /controls, forgot password, program export, blah, blah, blah. And when you see that to a bunch of random web servers, you know someone is like scanning the internet, just trying to exploit something and seeing, they don't care where it lands. They're not even checking to see if it's Apache OFBiz. They just, if they get a callback, they know they got success, right? And so they've shown it both as this is their post request with like, this looks kind of broken if you look at it in detail, because it says like throw new exception, open parentheses, but then it never closes, neither the parenthesis or the single quote. Down here in the post request example, you can see it actually looks more reasonable. Throw a new exception. Here we're running curl. We're on the string, we're calling .execute.text. So that looks like it's working. Here's their reports per day they're seeing. So there's this big spike in looking for this around July 25th, coming from these IPs. So cool. Let's go check it out. This is the web page for business. And if we scroll to the very bottom here, it says copyright Business Inc., powered by Apache OFBiz. So let's check it out. We got, we'll grab this right here and just see if this page exists. Good starting point to see, make sure we're in the right place. Oops, got an extra slash there. And web tool permission error. Okay, so we got something, the page is there, and that's what we really need to see. I'm actually going to jump over here into, I've got this set up with Foxy proxy using patterns. So anything that has a .htb just goes through burp. I've got a video that shows how I set that up. I'll put a link in one of these places. But we can grab this request here. I think, let's see. Let's clear this. Oh, clear history. Yes. Refresh you. There's our Git right there. I'm going to send this over to repeater, and we can try a couple things. We can try, even this is a post request. Okay, so we want to switch it to a post request. Change request method. And then let's just grab the payload from right here. And I don't want to reach out and hit this actual bad infrastructure. So I'm going to take everything between the quotes right here and just put ID. Now, I don't know if we actually get to see the response in the text, but this is a good starting spot. We can quickly check this out. Let's just go ahead and render here, see if we see. Sweet. The following errors occurred, UID 1001 OFBiz. So we ran the ID command right there. That's pretty cool. If we go back to the let's see, OFBiz 1000, oops, can I search in here? 1001. Yeah, so here's the output coming back to us. That's pretty cool. We could try putting this as a parameter up here and see if it works. Question mark, paste it in, do that, render. Yeah, so it'll take it as a get parameter or a post parameter. In PHP, you have like the $_get to get things out of the get parameter, $_post to get things out of post, and then $_request will actually get it out of get, post, or cookies. So this is an example. I don't know what the exact equivalent in Java is, but we have the same kind of thing going on here. It can take it from either place. So we've got execution. We can also, this would work in curl too. So we could do curl. I think it's HTTPS. Let's just grab this here. put that there. We can do -d and grab our data, Groovy program. Oops, didn't mean to put that weird stuff in there. Perfect. And what do we get? Oh, we need a -k because the cert is not trusted. And somewhere in here, we should have our results. Anyway, this is not worth your time. The next thing I thought to check is, oh, well, let's take a look and see if we can find out like how this got patched and what happened. So I've got the Apache OFBiz page has a really nice securities page, and we can actually see. So here's CVE 2024-32-113. That's the CVE we're looking at. It says it's fixed in 8.12.13 with these commits. So I'm going to open those up real quick, and you can see here this commit is literally modifying one file, and it's rejecting wrong URLs. And then what it does is it takes the get request URL to string, it uses that to generate a URI object, it then passes that URI object to normalize to string. So basically takes the string, pushes it into a URI, then converts it back to a string. And then it says, if the original string there is equal to this new thing, is not equal to that, then we got an exception. So basically, if I take the string, I parse it, and the thing that comes out is different, then there's some problem going on. Something weird has happened. Like this is not a normal URL. And so cool, that makes sense. And then over here, we're just changing, this is changing the same thing, but now it's not request, it's HTTP servlet. I think it's just getting the request differently, but the filtering is still the same. Still cool, let's check it out and see if that works. to.run is try it online. A really nice way you can just quickly try different programming languages compiled and run out of your browser, so you don't have to worry about like setting up an environment. If I can find the J's, too many languages here. Java, we'll click here. And so we need some code. I actually have this, I generated this already, so we can just copy and paste. You don't have to watch me type a bunch of stuff. But basically we're going to import these things. And then this looks very similar to what they were doing here. Just instead of getting it out of a request, I'm just going to start with a request URL that looks like my exploit. And then I'm going to create a string URL the same way they created it. And then I'm going to just print both those things. And so if we run this, it prints them both, and they're the same. And I was playing with this morning, and it was very confusing because I was supposed to fix it. But it doesn't. And I thought maybe my Java's bad, or am I doing something wrong, or there's something about the context it's running in that makes it slightly different. And eventually I decided to take a look at this next CVE. So CVE 2024-36-104 fixes in the next version. And if we look at these patches, I don't see. This is it right here. So here they take the thing they added for the previous patch and they replace it. So now they still create a new URI, and they convert it to a string, and they they take the request, they convert the URL to a string, they can pass it in, make it a URI, then normalize that and put it back to a string. But then they replace any instances of semicolon with nothing, and they replace anything of case insensitive encoded semicolon basically with nothing. And then we do the compare, and there's some error. So this time it would, basically we can just we can just add this to our to.run. Let's see, we put like this. I don't know why. I find it harder to read when we put them all in these lots of lines, but that should be fine. And now when we run it, you can see the updated one no longer has that semicolon there. We've removed it. And so when we did a comparison between these two strings, it would get false. We'd throw an error, we'd be fixed. So that's the fix right there. That's where, so it does lead me to ask, it's hard when you get to CVEs figuring out exactly like which one's which. It looks like there's an issue that's in 2024-32-113 that is not fully fixed by this patch, and that gets issued another CVE, the 36-104, and then they fully fix that there. So a payload, perhaps there's other ways to exploit 32-113 that don't involve a semicolon, and they fixed those, but then didn't fix it entirely. So someone found a way around it, etc. So it's probably really both of these CVEs are being exploited. That's it. I'm going to call it there. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for making it all the way to the end. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you thought of this video and if it was interesting. And yeah, I'll talk to you next time. Bye.